My parents stood in the kitchen holding plane tickets. We're leaving for a week. Don't call unless someone's dying. They returned to find their house was now a crime scene. I was 17 and it was spring break. My parents had been planning this anniversary trip to Hawaii for months. The morning they left, my mom went through her whole list. Don't leave dishes in the sink. Don't have people over. I nodded at everything because I was already thinking about what I was gonna do with a whole week of freedom. First 2 days I played video games until 4 in the morning and ate cereal for every meal. Then my buddy Alex texted asking if he could come over with his girlfriend Brittany. I said whatever. Brittany showed up with 3 of her friends. Then somebody posted on their story that they were at my place. By 9 that night, there were probably 30 people in my house. I didn't even know half of them. Someone spilled something sticky all over the hallway. 2 people were making out on my parents' bed. I kept trying to get people to leave, but nobody was listening. Around 11, this guy Jordan, who was on the baseball team, went out on the back deck to smoke. Our deck was old as hell, and my dad had been saying for 2 years he needed to replace the railing because the wood was rotted. Jordan was leaning against the railing talking to some girl, and I just heard this crack. The whole section gave out, and he fell backwards off the deck. It was only like 8 feet high, but he landed wrong. I heard the sound his head made when it hit the concrete patio. Everyone rushed outside. Jordan wasn't moving. Someone turned on their phone flashlight, and I saw blood coming out of his ear. His eyes were open, but they weren't looking at anything. I pulled out my phone to call 911, and Alex grabbed my arm. Dude, wait. There's like 30 people here, and half of them are drunk. You're gonna get destroyed. This girl, Ashley, knelt down and put her fingers on his neck. She looked up and shook her head. My stomach dropped. People started leaving, just straight up walking out. Within 10 minutes, there were only 6 of us left. That's when Alex said we needed to move him, take him to the park, say we found him like that. I was thinking about my parents coming home, about going to jail, about my entire life being over. I said okay. We wrapped Jordan in a tarp from my dad's shed, put him in the back of Alex's SUV, drove him to the park 6 blocks away and left him under a tree. I threw up in the bushes on the way back. I cleaned up the blood on the patio with bleach, put the broken railing pieces in a trash bag and drove them to a dumpster behind a Kroger at 2 in the morning. I stayed up until sunrise scrubbing the house. The next day, Jordan's body was found. It was all over the news. The police said they were investigating. Nobody said anything for 5 days. Alex texted me once and said we're good. Day 6. I was eating leftover pizza when an unmarked sedan pulled into the driveway. 2 detectives got out. They asked if they could come in. Asked where my parents were. I said Hawaii. Asked if I knew Jordan. I said sort of. Asked if I'd seen him recently. I said no. Then one pulled out a tablet and showed me a video. Security camera footage from my neighbor's house. You could see my backyard. You could see Jordan falling. You could see all of us standing around his body. You could see us carrying him to the car. I couldn't say anything. The detective said, "We're gonna need you to come with us." They let me call my parents from the station. My dad answered on the second ring, all happy, probably sitting on a beach. I told him he needed to come home. He asked why. I said, "Someone died." Long silence. Then he said, "What?" The detective took the phone. My parents flew back that night. When they pulled up to our house the next morning, there was yellow police tape across the back deck. A forensics van was parked on the street. Detectives were walking around our yard taking photographs. I was still at the station. I saw my mom through the window when they brought her in. She looked like she'd aged 10 years. My dad wouldn't even look at me. The lawyer they got me said I was looking at manslaughter charges, obstruction, evidence tampering. Alex and the others were facing charges too. Jordan's parents were talking about a civil suit. My mom was dead ass crying for 3 hours. My dad just sat in the kitchen staring at nothing. The one thing he said to me that whole first day was, "I told you not to call unless someone was dying." Yeah, someone was dying, and I didn't call.